So, welcome everyone. So, as you know, if you have any questions, you're welcome to pose your question by speaking it or writing it in the chat box. It's a beautiful spring day. The song of the birds in the forest. The movement of the leaves, the gentle wind and sunshine. The breath, and the peace of being. The heartbeat and some sensations in the body. The faint hum of the computer. Nothing is separate. Yes, nothing. It's all is seamless. There are no words for it. Bathing in this inner light, It feels quite blissful right now. The inner silence, the inner peace. Distant caw, caw, caw of the crow. There are a couple of crows here who somehow seem to live close by. They visit regularly. The appreciation of that, of being without the need to know. There is a vastness to not knowing. The vastness of presence that has no conditions. Somehow it reveals itself to be this intimacy. The intimacy of not knowing. The intimacy of being. Which cannot be put into words, cannot be described, like the taste of a mango. You have to taste it to know it. And in tasting it, you become it, it becomes you. You are one with the mango. You are the mango.
Hi, Maggie.
Hello, Anne.
I just wanted to ask you a question at the beginning because, or share something really, because it's very late where I am.
Yes.
So I won't be able to stay on long, but there's been a growing sense, deepening of happiness and peace. I've been spending a lot of time alone. I live alone now, and that seems to really work for me. But at the moment, I'm away with a group of people that I don't really know that well. And an old pattern has appeared for me that I've not seen. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I just have to focus a little bit. Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I'm hearing you okay, yes.
Good. And it's appeared in the last few days, probably because I'm around people I don't know that well. And it's a very painful appearance.
Uh-huh.
It's like a very vulnerable, exposed child,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very frightened of people, and it wants to people please and fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite shocked me actually, because it used to appear a lot, and I've not seen it for quite some time. And as I say, it's probably because I'm around new people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like, you often compare it to the weather. It's been a very, very stormy couple of days, leading to a sort of peak this evening. And this is starting to fade now, and there's a calming. And I don't know if it's because I've seen that. I think I've seen that it's when it's almost like stick my head above the parapet, and I think the ego plays a part in it. I think it's, like trying to be clever or trying to prove a point, that kind of thing, rather than staying in in a in a in a more humble place, staying in a more I don't even know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know to explain that part of it. Is there's something that I've seen that's kind of calmed it down,
Mm-hmm.
something that I've done that you know, it's not about them, it's about me,
Mm-hmm.
and something that I've done that doesn't work for me. And if I expose that part of me, it's very painful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the part that I expose is an egotistical side, a wanting to prove something, or does that make any sense? Or,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I seem to have calmed down now, and it's like something saying, just stay within yourself, just
Mm-hmm.
stay. You're not hiding, you're just staying in that peaceful place, in that calm place. There's nothing to prove, there's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's like when it happens, it's like as if people really hate me. I get this idea that people just hate me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there is no possibility for the separate self, the separate me,
Mm.
to be happy,
Mm.
to be safe, to be loved, to be. It's not. There is no possibility. It can be loved today and
Mm-hmm.
and hated tomorrow. It can feel safe today and unsafe tomorrow. It can feel on top of the mountain today and down in the pits tomorrow. It is not possible for the separate self to find happiness,
Mm-hmm.
to find safety in relationship, to find safety in the world, to find safety in situations, to find safety in the body, to find safety in circumstances. It is not possible. It can occur on occasions, but then it goes downhill, then a little moment of respite, and downhill again, respite and downhill. You need to understand that that is the fate of the separate self. So when you are feeling good as a separate self, around the, the corner is the downhill slope. And when you the circumstances will change, you will find that you will feel the roller coaster ride. Now, so the concern about being happy in the world by arranging the pieces on the chessboard, that has only works temporarily. Now, on the other hand, when you possibly contemplate that these people are little children, they are little babies that are playing some roles, whatever roles they are playing, they are babies, you know. One is playing the president of General Electric, another one is playing the ambassador of Uruguay, another person is playing the wife of Prince Edward or whatever. That they are little babies. They are little teeny tiny children that are wearing these costumes and wearing on these hats and putting all the makeup and acting as some bodies, some characters, you see. So in fact, when you meet somebody as a child, as a children, in a way you don't have a image or history or story about yourself or about them. You are meeting as children, as innocent children. There is a fresh meeting that doesn't care about those mental dynamics. Why would I care if I am loved or not loved? I'm just speaking for myself. I don't really care. Why would I care if I am appreciated or not appreciated? It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it matters 0.00% for me. 0.00%.
Can I just say something, Magdi?
Yes.
Just on that point, that is how I've been going around. How you're saying is how I feel. Just exactly what you're saying. I thought this pattern had completely disappeared, because normally I feel like you're saying, completely within myself, and there's no lack for other people's approval, or it's very solid, and not solid, but very, I don't know. Yeah, but this is why it shocked me so much that this old pattern has reappeared.
Yes.
And there's this very insecure, fragile.
Okay, well, what do I care if that pattern reappears? I don't care. It can reappear.
Yeah.
Why would I care if it reappears? So I'm gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna feel like, as you said, like an internal storm. Okay, I don't care. I can feel an internal storm.
Mm. Mm.
What's the big deal?
I think it's because there's some part of me going, why? What's
Why
the
not?
point?
Why not? There is no point.
Mm.
There is no point.
Mm.
Lightning can fall on the beautiful oak tree here and
Mm.
and destroy it, or burn it, whatever.
Mm.
There's no point.
So there's no reason for it or purpose for it. There's no reason or purpose for it. There's just nothing.
There's no purpose.
No.
If
There's
you
nothing
say,
to learn from it.
what you what you what you what you care about, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what I care about is that actually I don't know what I care about. To be honest.
What about Tara? You care about Tara?
What do I care about? I guess somehow when I'm completely transparent to what's happening, it turns out to be beautiful.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I
It's
find. Yeah,
a little bit magical in a way.
yeah.
But it's okay if it's not. It's okay if somehow something changes and we have to sort of go in a different direction. That's okay.
Mm.
I mean, sooner or later, the body mind, meaning this waking dream, is going
Mm.
to come to an end.
Mm.
And so it's okay, right?
Mm.
It could
I
be.
just wondered if it was appearing because something because there's something trying to be something it's not, because I'm trying to be something I'm not, and therefore it puts me in a very vulnerable
You're trying,
position.
you're trying to be something that you're not. You know what?
Possibly.
The you that is trying to be something that you're not.
Mm.
All that is nonsense, right?
Mm.
No?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what you're talking about? I mean, these are just thoughts passing by.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, there are
I
thoughts.
don't know. It's just that I just thought that earlier I had a bit of a realization, and it seemed the storm seemed to calm down after that realization.
The
I might be wrong, but
realization, uh,
mm,
realization, sort of.
like a realization of like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing, and that was the consequence of it. Ah, yeah, like that's why the old pattern appeared, because there was a moving away from the peaceful harmony into
No.
no.
No. If you are moving,
Mm.
if you are moving away from the peace, that's that's not the real. That's not real,
Mm.
because there is no you that moves away from
Mm.
the peace or moves
Mm.
closer to the peace.
Mm.
Either there is peace, or there is thoughts and concerns and worries and trouble.
Mm.
There is no you
Mm.
moving towards the peace or moving away from the peace. That's
Mm.
just thoughts.
Mm.
It's just thoughts. So
Mm.
when something arises, whatever it is that arises, and you are the transparency, you're just transparent to whatever is arising,
Mm.
that's the peace.
Mm.
Right? It's not what is arising that's the peace.
Mm.
It's the transparency, to be transparent to whatever is rising. That's
Mm.
the peace.
Mm.
So
Right.
like the wide open sky, if there are
Mm.
there are no clouds,
Mm.
or if there are clouds, the space of the sky is the peace.
Mm. Mm.
It doesn't matter if there is a tornado or it's beautiful sunshine.
Mm. Mm. Right.
So you're when we add on somebody, when we add on somebody
Mm.
is in the space, somebody, then there isn't a peace, because we've sort of we've created sort of a cocoon, and now we are existing in the cocoon, you see? And
mm,
when we are existing in the cocoon, we speak about peace, but it's not the real thing, you see.
mm,
And when we are recollecting experiences, we are
mm,
recollecting very happy experiences. It's still
mm,
inside the cocoon.
mm, mm,
But right now, whatever hears these words, there is
mm,
there is a transparency. There isn't like
mm,
somebody who is inside the cocoon. There's just this openness right now, just this
mm,
transparency right now. This
mm,
conversation right now is happening openly. It's happening in the openness of awareness, in the openness of presence.
mm.
Yes.
Yes.
So that there's no point to it. It's not trying to do something. It's not trying to get better, trying to get worse. It's not trying to go
Mm,
anywhere. It's just what it is. And
mm,
you are this transparency to all of that. You see,
mm,
not not some character who is feeling better or improving. You see,
mm, mm.
right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
when there are situations that arise in your life that are sort of shaking like a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? You can remain as transparent to that, sort of see it, perceive it, see it in your body, feel it in your body, sense it.
Mm,
Not
mm.
try to not try to have some understanding about it and
Yeah.
to figure it
Mm,
out. Because when you
mm,
try to figure it out, in a way, you are not interested in it. When you're trying to
mm,
figure it out, you're not interested in it. You're interested in your story. Yeah, you're interested
mm,
in your narrative. You say you're not interested in it because if you're
mm,
interested in it, you're silent and you're still and you're experiencing it in your inner silence, in your inner presence. You're not
mm,
trying to make some sort of story about it, right?
mm,
So you have to be aware of this
mm,
sort of fake understanding that is just basically some sort of trickery,
mm,
avoidance that is trying to sort of uh, find a safe place in thought.
mm, mm. I thought it was real because it sort of dissolved it. I thought it was something I'd seen because it sort of dissolved the whatever it was.
It's bound to dissolve.
Mm, mm. Okay.
Everything is bound to dissolve, right? I mean, everything phenomenal,
Mm,
right?
mm, mm,
What I mean, the and character is bound to dissolve,
mm, mm. Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
all the thoughts that are arising, they're arising in the spaciousness of being, right?
Mm,
Like the same spaciousness right now that perceives
mm,
these words, right? That
mm,
is perceiving this perception.
mm,
It has no name, right? It has no
mm.
no gender,
Yeah.
and it's not trying to figure it out in order for it to dissolve,
Mm,
because it can dissolve today and reappear tomorrow,
mm, mm.
and then who cares?
Yeah. I'm just not used to that. Such a strong appearance of of this thing. It just shocks me.
Well, when a strong appearance arises and you don't touch it,
Mm, mm, mm,
not touching it means not thinking about it, because thinking about it is touching it.
mm, mm,
You don't touch it, meaning you're just doing nothing.
mm,
It's doing what it's doing. Well, I don't know what it's doing. Whatever the
mm.
weather is doing, it's doing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no issue with the weather,
Mm.
whether it's internal weather or external weather.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did. That's what was, apparent to me that your words of like a storm and the weather. It's like, yeah, this is exactly like a storm, like a weather, like a hurricane.
Yes, I mean the thing is, we want it to stop.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And that's where we are touching it.
Mm.
In a way, it's a sort of resistance. And when you are resisting the storm, that's another storm.
Yeah, it was a resistance, and there's nothing I seemed to be able to do about that. I didn't seem to be able to.
Well, first, it makes sense to understand, if you can understand that resisting
Mm,
is a storm,
mm,
and then judging your resistance
mm.
is another storm,
Yeah, I
right?
just couldn't get that space at the time. It was just,
Okay,
it
so
was
what?
just,
It's okay.
yeah,
It's okay.
yeah,
So fine. So that's fine.
yeah,
So there was no space. That's fine.
yeah.
And where is it right now? Where is the storm right now?
I think it's past. As I say, it sort of dissolved when I realised some old behaviour
Okay.
that had come up that don't work for me. I think, but I don't know if that's personal, really.
Well, yeah. Sometimes we see our patterns. We see that we have this tendency,
Yeah,
whatever the tendency is. We notice a tendency within
yeah,
ourselves, and when we
yeah.
notice a tendency, there is the let's say the grace of noticing, because
Mm,
noticing uh, has a it's like shining a light. There is a
mm,
light that
mm.
shines. That's noticing. Noticing is different from wanting something.
Yeah, it was noticing.
Yeah,
It wasn't, it was almost not me noticing. It
right,
was like something shone a light on it
right,
and it was like, aha,
right.
right.
Yeah, you notice,
Yeah,
for example, that you there is a pattern of wanting to be loved.
mm,
You
mm.
notice that.
Yeah,
You notice that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You may also the thought may arise that wanting to be loved is unhappy.
Mm. Yeah, it definitely was wanting to be loved, wanting approval,
Wanting
wanting
approval.
wanting to prove myself.
Yes. So you can notice
Mm,
that wanting the approval, and then you just
mm,
stay open to that.
mm,
Stay open to it. That okay, here I am.
mm,
I'm wanting approval. So you see it,
mm.
and
Yeah.
when you see it, there is a certain openness, the openness of seeing, of noticing,
Mm,
and it's okay. We don't have to judge it or try to destroy it
mm.
or try to improve it. We're just sort of noticing it. We notice
Yeah.
this human condition
Yeah.
that that is always sort of feeding some sense of lack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely lack because it's not been there for so long. I'd forgotten what lack felt like. I'd forgotten how
And
it felt, that painful lack, that painful grasping.
right, and
Yeah.
in a way, we all suffer from that.
Mm. And what it was doing is because I wasn't aware of it and noticing it was going into judgments of others, about that they don't like me and
Uh huh.
they're doing this and that. And it's quite a relief to talk about it. And,
Hmm. Hmm.
and, and if,
Yeah.
that light got shone on it, that an
Hmm.
old pattern.
Hmm. Usually people feel comfortable, in general, with uh, when they are not judged, when they are
Mm.
when they are in the company of somebody who is not judgmental.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So when you are with people and you are not judging them, and when you're thinking they don't love me, in a way, it's a form of judgment, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so it's like you're digging your own pit,
Yeah.
because the thought that oh they don't love me is in a way some sort of judgment of them,
Mm.
and then they can sense that
Mm.
they're being judged, and so they don't
Yeah.
feel happy in your company,
Yeah.
you know. In
Yeah.
fact, I don't know if people love me or not. It's probably better not to know. We don't. I don't know. I really don't know. In fact, most people don't even know themselves if they love you or
Yeah.
not. They don't even know
Yeah.
what love is.
Yeah. That's, I mean, that's how it's been. It's like, it's not even crossed my mind what people are thinking, whether they love me or not. It's been so peaceful and calm and just flowing. And then all of a sudden, this old pattern emerged and
Hmm.
that used to be there all the time.
Yes. Yes.
And it suddenly just sprang up
Hmm.
out of nowhere and forcefully. And
Hmm.
yeah, it was just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think, thank you for talking to me about
Hmm.
it. I do
Yeah.
appreciate to clarify
Yeah.
and to see that light at the end of it was the storm past, the light was shone on it, to see, like that, aha, yeah, I've been in that sort of behaviour pattern.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
there are the clouds, and there is the openness of the sky.
Mm,
So sometimes there are clouds, yes,
mm,
but to also notice in this moment, because it's always
mm,
this moment, which is a fresh
mm.
moment, the
Yes.
the presence
Mm,
that that has that is free from the past,
mm,
and that's always available.
mm. And it just seemed almost like sort of um, like not going outside of something. Oh, I don't know. I can't explain it. Yeah. Anyway, I know what I've to
I'm not sure.
explain it.
I'm not sure I understood that.
No, there's something I'm trying to say, but I can't find the words for it. It's like yeah, it's just like I have to stay within myself, not go outside of myself.
Hmm.
That doesn't describe it anyway. It's just very difficult to describe what I'm saying. I'll try and find some words for it another time.
You know, uh, how about dropping all of that? Drop it
Mm,
and just simply be.
mm. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Magdi. You've said it there. To be, just to be, not to start picking things up, just to stay in that place of being, that sort of just in that peace. Not to once you start picking things up, I must have, because I was in new company, I must have there must have been some sort of subtle picking up of things that snowballed into this storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the story, but I think you
Well,
understand what I mean.
sometimes when we are in a group of people, we
Mm,
also pick up their energies.
right.
They may that
Yes.
that may also energize the space.
Yes. Because I do find I feel I need a lot of time alone. It's really, because I split up with my husband a year ago. Um, it really works for me being alone a lot because I do pick up energies very easily
Okay.
that I find disturbing. And I have been spending a lot of time with people, which is not my normal way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the the more you somehow become in tune with just being,
Mm,
the
definitely.
the easier you will find that. there will be less disturbance whenever something arises.
Yeah.
Once you get more and more stable with being, just
Mm.
being.
Mm.
And I don't mean being alone or anything like that. I mean
No, I know you
we
don't know.
sort of
Yeah.
connect with being. It's just in
Yeah.
an inner peace, an inner stillness.
Yeah. Because it used to be that I just couldn't be around people because I felt like a pincushion. You know, I felt like little jabs constantly. And the more, like you say, I've been in that being, I've been starting to enjoy relationships and been able to be with people
Yes.
more.
Yes.
That's why it surprised me,
Okay.
you know, and scared me like, oh no,
Mm-hmm.
that's happening again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now I've understood, and then particularly talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I was trying to describe is just staying that being.
Mm-hmm.
I was calling it staying within
Yes.
myself, but stay in that being place.
Yes.
Um,
Again, there
just
are,
be, just to be. It's not staying even, it's
uh,
just being, isn't
right.
it? Yeah.
Again, sometimes when you are with some people, their energies
Yeah.
may
Yeah.
trigger some,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it's probably good to just sort of move on.
Yeah. And I did that tonight. I moved away to try and come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people's minds are just spinning, at a
Yeah.
high rate, and it's can be
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I
Okay.
so appreciate that's really helped.
Okay. Wonderful.
Nice to see you.
Same.
Take care.
Same. Have a good rest.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Magdi.
Hello, Holly.
Hi there. I was very happy that Anne was asking her question about being in groups of people. I went to a dinner party last night and a very similar situation unfolded. Um, for me, though, it's pretty persistent. So I don't know if you want to add anything else, but almost anytime I'm around a group,
Mhm.
I'm still very
Yes.
drawn in.
So there is an image, you see, S- some some image or a body of images that we worry about or we identified with or we're concerned about. It's very subtle. So we're watching, not being normally proper in relationship, not normally being normally respectful, but there is some sort of inner concern, it's a feeling about being 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 loved, being judged, but it's the image. It's really the image,
Mm.
and because we have an image of ourselves and an image of others. So in a way, there isn't a fresh meeting because in the fresh meeting in this moment there is no past, there is no Magdi, no Holly. There is no me or you. There is a fresh creativity in the moment of whatever it is, and it can be there can be certain expression or no expression. It, we don't know, and but it's very it's it's veiled, let's say, for us because of the, the personal the personal self hasn't that bubble hasn't completely popped. popped. It's there's still that element. So in a way, it is part of part of the way the personal self unfolds is in these feelings. Sometimes it is being with others, and in some cases it is being alone, even being alone. It could be inner conflict and turmoil.
Yeah.
So then there is, we explore, we experiment, we say. So we experiment. We already know the condition. The condition is that of feeling self-concerned, feeling like we're on the spot or something like that. We know the condition, but we experiment. So we conduct experiments, being with others, around dinner or other circumstances, maybe an opportunity. It's possible that we could be exploring. We really, really listen to what is this person saying. This just to listening. Let me listen, really listen, and see if it's possible to, if there is anything being shared, to be spoken from listening, from this place of listening. It could be just nothing is being said, it's just listening. Or something may arise from this listening that poses a question, asks for clarification, or shares something that's arising from the listening. There's a freshness to listening.
I did notice a bit of an improvement when I was returning to the transparency. I did notice some lightening, a little bit less of being like poised to dive in, and more spontaneity seemed to be there.
Yes, yes, to speak, if there is speaking happening from that place of presence being, say. And if the pace is moving fast, we can be silent. The pace can be moving fast around us. A certain question can be posed to us, and we may pause. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to be automatic. And if we are, and then there is a certain feeling of awkwardness, for example, to also listen to that, to also be with that, to feel that, not to judge that, not to add on to that, to sort of experience it, meaning to be present to it as much as possible, uh, if possible. And there may be situations where the conversation doesn't really resonate.
Mm.
Then we don't have too much to say, you see.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying to change anybody. It just doesn't resonate. It's not something you want to engage in. So you dance around it a little bit, or you just silent. Or you can move away from the conversation. In some cases, you may be able. It might be difficult around the dinner table, of course. And you may notice that in some conversations that you engage in, it's like, it feels like it's getting muddier and muddier, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So as best you can, you bring it to an end, whichever way is possible for you. But I want to come back to noticing this inner, if it is present, an inner image or an inner persona that we're trying to present or manipulate in a certain way. Everybody is doing that to a certain extent, you know. And uh, it's the false self, you say.
Yeah.
Because in relationship, in true relationship, like this conversation right now, there is no image. And yet there is a conversation which is very meaningful to a lot of people, meaningful to many people, because it's about peace, peace and happiness. Okay, around the dinner table, it's a different thing, you see. I don't go to many dinners.
Yeah. Just at retreats, huh?
Yes, at retreats, then they're very beautiful people.
Yeah.
Because they are interested in truth, you see.
Yeah.
They're interested in truth and they're looking. So there is a certain maturity, you see, which is often not present in family or in old friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we feel that, okay, you know, we have to have friends and socialize with friends, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't, I'm not part of that crowd. It's different to be with friends who are truth lovers. Of course, at work, of course, you're interacting with people at work and clients, etc. It's different. Sometimes there are business meetings, of course. family, try to make it as brief as possible. Although I love hanging out with Julian, my son.
Yeah.
Chloe,
Not
Chloe when she comes over.
not all family is.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a ball of energy.
Mm.
Very sweet. Uh, so don't try to sell anything. Don't try to sell yourself to anybody or anyone. Don't. I mean, I'm not talking business. I'm talking,
Yeah.
Don't worry about. Don't cater to images. And of course, be watchful of having images of others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you may know a snake is poisonous and you avoid it, but you don't. I'm talking about images that are unnecessary. Of course, you avoid unfriendly people, but you don't need to have image of them. There is intelligence. That's different. There is a certain knowledge. It's different from an image. You know the cobra is poisonous. That's not an image. That's a knowledge.
Right.
So
Right.
there are some people that you know are, you want to avoid them. You see. And when you disarm yourself, you disarm the other.
Mm.
When you are not catering to an image and you are just present, innocently, freshly, in a way, you're inviting the other subliminally to also relax in just a chat that has no purpose. It's not trying to do anything. It's just saying hello and sharing whatever we're sharing. We don't know. So you can actually bring this invitation rather than being a victim to the group. You can bring that fresh way of being into the situation. It's like driving on the highway. When I get on the highway, there are people driving in all sorts of ways. But I drive in a certain way. I bring it into the space.
Mm-hmm.
A certain way of driving, of being, of that. So I'm not a subject. I'm not like a victim to what's happening on the highway. I'm an active. I'm bringing into the space something that is badly needed. It is badly needed. The peace, the resting, and okay, we're all going somewhere, but in fact, we're going nowhere. Where are we going?
Right.
In that dream, we're not going anywhere outside of realizing that there is nowhere to go and no need to go anywhere. And this whole charade is just a storyline. It's a narrative. And what we are is the peace of being. You see, we are the peace of being, and that's very beautiful. The mind, the body can rest in that peace of being. And the whole space can rest in the peace of being. The entire dinner family can rest in this peace of being. Because it's there. It doesn't belong to anybody and it's not limited. Nothing limits it. So in everything that we do, we also it's also the peace of being. I mean, not just in this conversation. Why not in everything that you do?
Yeah.
Walking, talking, driving, cooking, whatever. It's nothing special. It's our true nature. It's the nature of the universe. Is this peace of being. And it's not judgmental. It's not judging itself or judging others. It's celebrating everything at this moment. It's a beautiful, beautiful, it's a wonderful moment of presence. We all love that, you see, it's the thing. We really love this presence. I mean, of course, we also like to travel and go out to dinner or whatever, you know.
Right.
But the presence is at the heart of all of that. You see.
Right.
Because as soon as we get attached to something, then there is a dependency, there is a conditionality upon our happiness. So we celebrate everything, but with open hands, you see. Whichever way it unfolds, it's fresh every moment. You see. So then it's like, wow, it's fresh this moment. Oh, that's how it is. At the manifest level, because at the unmanifest level, it's just pure awareness. It's just pure presence, which is a piece of being at the unmanifest level. And at the manifest level, it keeps shifting and changing, and it's all beautiful when there is that recognition of the transparency, of the beauty, of the love that doesn't belong to anybody, that is not mine and not yours. It's so the body mind, like all body minds, is subject to all sorts of conditions. We have to feed the body, we have to rest the body, we have to take care of the car, the house, etc., the garden. That's okay. That's the lila, that's the play of manifestation. And that takes care of itself in a way, you know. We don't make the rain, you know. It rains, and then the fields, the corn grows or the wheat grows, whatever, the apples, the fruits, it rains. And when it doesn't rain, some places, then there are dates. There are dates and there are palm, coconut. I love coconut, the fresh coconuts.
Oh,
You
me
know those
too.
fresh coconuts. In
Mm,
Costa Rica, we had some.
yeah.
So then uh, we can let go of our personal concerns, sort of trust God, as they say in religious terms,
Yeah.
trust the universal order. And it speaks to us. It tells us, okay, you know, time to go buy some tomatoes and lettuce, avocados, speaks to us. It's, oh, we need to buy some, we need to go shopping, or we need to go to work, whatever, or we need to look for somewhere, whatever. When we are a family, we help each other, we work together, we're all interconnected, you see. We're like a chain. I don't know, in our mind we're fighting each other because we're fighting ourselves. Within ourselves we're fighting because we don't know that we are the bliss of the self. There is an inner turmoil with our inner images. We call them our inner demons. They're images. Images of demons. Oh. Right, they are images. So, but we are not an image, you see. But we're not an image. Images appear to us. And we say, oh, I am that. But no, you are not that. Beautiful image you want to be, and ugly image you don't want. All neither the beautiful image, neither bad image you are. You're neither. See, what you are cannot be described because the mind isn't big enough to describe the vastness. The mind is a limited form. Thoughts, sensations, perceptions, feelings, memories. They are the minuscule. They do not know the majuscule. They do not know the macroscopic. The microscopic does not know the macroscopic. Cannot know it. And it doesn't need to, you see. But you are not the mind, that's the thing. You are not the mind. You are the transparency of being. So, and that's so, you cannot perceive it as you perceive an object. But you cannot deny it. You can deny the object, because the object could be a dream object, a dream form, an apparition, like a mirage. Like you see a city, but in fact it's just a mirage. But you cannot deny consciousness, presence, awareness, beingness. That you cannot see. And that is the I. That's what I is. That around the dinner table is not an object, you see. So that's what you are. That cannot be judged or measured or insulted. But if there is an image, then of course the image can be, we have concerned about it, we have concerns about it. And as soon as we have concerns about the image, then we are not free. We're not free because we have a concern about the image. We want it to be in a certain way. See?
Yeah.
We want it to be appreciated. So then we have a dependency. You see. So in a way, we are a participant to our own misery. You see. Because we want to be loved. We want the image to be loved. Because what we are cannot be loved, because what we are is love itself. Is not something. What we are is not something that you can love or not love. You can love or not love an object. Your dog or your car, your house, your partner, blah, blah, blah. These are objects. And in fact, we can love these objects. We can love these objects, but without holding on, without,
With open hands.
with open hands.
Yeah.
Love with open hands. We give the freedom to what we love, and we give ourselves the freedom in the love. So we're not grasping, and we're not depending. So we're open. We're open. We're open to loving everything. Why not? Loving everything does not mean that you are subject to everything. You may love the Sahara Desert, but you don't want to live there. I love some beautiful, beautiful pictures of the dunes, and the Sahara, in fact, is very important part of our planet. It is part of the regulatory system of the temperature balance of our planet. I don't know much about it, but it is.
Yeah. Right.
So of course I love it that way. And the people who live there, the beautiful people, Bedouins. They are camel and sheep herders. They're beautiful dates. I love dates.
Yeah.
You see, so we love the Sahara Desert, their dates. And also the metaphor of the mirage that comes from the Sahara, from the sand, the heat from the sand, the mirages. It's a beautiful metaphor.
Mm.
That we mistake what is real. We say, oh, this is real, but in fact it's a mirage. Anyways.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm just babbling.
It's great. I'll take it. Thank you.
Magdi?
Yes, hello, Esther.
No, Zoe.
Hey, hello, Zoe.
But she's my twin, so.
Yes. Well, hello, both of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was so helpful, that whole line of questioning and your responses. Yeah, because I get caught in that wanting approval and hearing, what you had to say, because I find myself being drawn more and more to just either being alone or being with people who love truth, and questioning this whole thing of, how do I have to fit in? And there was something you said last satsang that was like burst another little bubble for me. It was when you said all appearances arise to the impersonal self. And it hit me that there was this catch where I guess the ego was still seeing these appearances rise and thinking that they referred to me. Anyway, that was really helpful. And then I started thinking about, okay, so there's no me. And then, so even these memories and thoughts that I would call my memories or my thoughts, they aren't.
Well, they are the memories and thoughts of consciousness, you could say.
Yeah.
What isn't the perception? What doesn't belong to consciousness?
Yes. Okay. And then I was reading last night from, God, words just sound weird right now. Anyway, Magdi, there's something, I was reading something that it was in one of Jean Klein's books, but it talks about what happens with the guru, the grace of the guru, which like my experience with you is you bring these words to life. All of a sudden they're living and they fade. But anyway, there's something in John Klein's book that I would love for you to talk about. It says, all questions proceed from an I don't know, otherwise you would not ask a question. All questions come from the possibility of knowing, otherwise you would not ask a question. In other words, a question has its seed in the knowing, in the answer. This is also true on the most profound level. All questions arise in the answer.
Yes. So yes, every question refers to an answer. So the answer is within the question. The question refers to the answer. So there is a connection between the question and the answer. And the wanting to know is both the relationship of the answer and the question. Wanting to know is the question and the answer as one seed. So there is a seed, and within that seed there is both the question and the answer, and that's what's wanting to know. The self, our true nature, has no question and no answer. It's referred to as not knowing. But it's not a not knowing that refers to a certain answer that is not known. It refers to both the question and the answer dissolved. When a question arises, it arises from the answer. So in a way, it's a question is the answer veiled. It's a veiled answer. That's we call it a question.
Wow. That's a neat trick.
Yes, because the question is going to lead to the answer. Right?
Yes.
So within the question, there is the path to the answer. Which means that the answer is within the question. So the question and the answer are contained within each other. So they're actually, it's not a process from the question takes you to the answer. You are at point A, which is a the world of questions, and there is another world, the world of answers, and between them there is a gap. It's not that way. Because in fact, if there is a gap between the question and the answer, then there is no way for the question to reach the answer. The question can only lead to the answer because they're connected. Like, for example, the Amtrak train that goes from Washington, D.C. to New York City on the track, they are connected. Washington, D.C. and New York City are connected by the train track, 250 miles, whatever it is. So they're connected. So being that the question and the answer are connected, that means they are, in fact, within each other. So within the question is the answer, within the answer is the question. They're actually one. There is no, in fact, there are no questions.
Yes.
And there are no answers.
Okay.
There are no answers and no questions. Because it is not linear. The self, presence, truth is not linear. It's cosmic. It's universal. It's like a sphere with an infinite diameter and no center. So when you're asking a question, you actually have an intuition of the answer. But you're interested in the game.
In the veil.
In the game.
In the game. Okay, so my next question is, when's your next retreat?
Because in fact, nothing is outside of you. There is nobody that's making you unhappy. It's all within you.
Yes.
There are no borders between you and others. There are borders between bodies, between objects, but not between you and another. Because you is I and the other is I, and it's one consciousness. And in your experience, everything you experience is within yourself.
Yeah.
You look at the oak tree, it's within yourself, the perception of the oak tree. Of course, there is a thought that says the oak tree is outside of me. But that very thought does not create an outside. The thought is some object you perceive.
Yes.
And you may accept to believe the thought. You say, oh, no, the thought knows, and the thought is saying the tree is outside of myself. That's your freedom. You can play this game. Why not? You are free to play. Then you say, okay, I'm playing the game of inside and outside. I am inside and the tree is outside. But that's just a game. Like you're dreaming that, you're imagining this, you're playing this game.
Yeah.
Because the object that is outside of you is the thought that is saying the object is outside of you. But that thought doesn't create.
Yeah.
It doesn't create an outside or an inside. It's a perception. The thought is a perception. So, given there is nothing outside of you, What is your question? To whom are you asking a question? I have a question.
Apparently, there's something still interested in playing the game.
Having said all that,
Yeah.
you have to play the game as long as the game is going on until the game ends, and then you are where you are. Yes, in other words, it is important to be sincere to yourself. If there is a question that arises, to be
Yes.
don't just take the words we just shared right now and say, oh, there are no questions, all answers are within the question, there is really no real question, so therefore I'm not going to ask anything. No, it is about peace and happiness, you see.
Yes.
And the questions and the answers, this game is designed this way, so to dissolve the unhappiness. So you have to play it. Okay? You have to really look. Don't, there is a question, if there is something that's arising for you, especially in satsang, to share that.
Okay. And my final question, when are you going to have your next retreat?
Retreat.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Tara?
Okay, she can email me if you guys don't have
We
dates. Okay.
Yeah, we will talk about that. We'll talk
Okay.
about that. Let's see.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
Thank you, Magdi.
It's away. Oh, 6:30. Okay. Any other question here?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Maria. One moment, Maria. Yes? Yes, Maria. Hello, Maria.
Oh, hi, Magdi. Something you said during the retreat in Costa Rica when we were doing the body awareness exercise had a real profound effect on me. And that is when you said that when we are feeling those sensations, that the focus is not the sensations, but the space in which the sensations are melting into or arising from.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I got it right. If you could just speak a little bit more about that.
So all mind impressions, meaning sensations, perceptions. Of course, during the body awareness, then we're talking about bodily sensations. Yes? All bodily sensations arise in the spaciousness of awareness. And their substance, the very substance, is the spaciousness of awareness. So in body awareness, and also body awareness is gives you a way of living according to consciousness, to live, to feel, to be, to perceive as consciousness. So that's what the body awareness sort of delivers in a way, or reveals. So it's not just during body awareness, but in your life, in this very moment, throughout your day, in whatever occasions that arise for you during the day. The focus in our habitual way is to focus on the object. And of course, it's important in certain situations to be focused on the object in order to accomplish a certain task. But there is also and it's always there, the spaciousness of awareness. Even when you are focusing on a sensation or on a task or on an activity, there is that borderless awareness. So it's sort of a shift of attention that notices not just the object, not just the activity, but also the non-activity, the formless, the spaciousness of awareness that permeates the activity, that permeates the perception, and is not limited by the perception or to the perception. It is actually limitless. So the activity may have its parameters, or the perception or the sensation may have its qualities, bitter, sweet, whatever. But the spaciousness of awareness is not limited or defined by the qualities of the perception. It permeates the perception and is not limited by it. So in your activities and in your wherever your attention goes, you can simultaneously turn your attention to the attention itself, not to the object of the attention, but to the spaciousness of attending. Attending is an impersonal non-activity, a quality of the spaciousness of awareness. It is an effortless attending, an effortless spaciousness that is aware and it is not mutually exclusive to be turning your attention towards a certain sensation, a certain feeling, or a certain activity, and simultaneously noticing the spaciousness of awareness. And also, it may be helpful to understand and experience that the spaciousness of awareness and the object of awareness are both equally transparent. That it is awareness itself which is borderless and infinite, that takes on the form of a perception, of a sensation, without diminishing its borderlessness, without diminishing its infiniteness. And the spaciousness of awareness is peace, the peace of being. So you experience the peace, the heart of all activities, all perceptions, all sensations. You experience the peace and the sensation that arises in the body is not apart from this peace. Nothing is.
So, Magdi, thank you. Thank you. That really clarifies. So, it's not about not focusing on the sensation, but it's feeling the sensation, but at the same time, feeling the spaciousness of awareness that's also present. So it's like
Yes.
both are present,
Yeah.
and in a sense, both are qualities of awareness. I mean, that sensations in itself is made of that spacious awareness.
Yes. So when you turn your attention to the sensation and notice that in a way the sensation itself is edgeless, that the sensation itself seems to be some sort of concrete form, but in fact it's not that concrete. It is permeated with the formlessness of awareness. Then the sensation itself morphs from a concrete appearance to a more and more transparent, spacious space. So what maintains a sensation is the contraction around it. And the contraction around the sensation is connected to a desire to change it or to hold on to it, to get rid of it or to hold on to it. And the desire to hold on to it or wanting to change it or get rid of it is connected to the sense of personal self, that there is something at stake if I let it go, or there is something at stake if I hold on to it. So there is sort of a gradation. It starts with the sense of self, meaning the belief in physicality, the belief that consciousness is personal to the body mind, that consciousness is a body mind form. It starts with that belief and feeling. And then it goes into the sense of there's an imminent danger, there's something at stake, so we better hold on, seek or resist. Yes. And so the sensations that arise in the body are they seem to have a real quality to them because of the physical mass that is surrounding them. But when we invite ourselves to notice the spaciousness of awareness that's around any sensation, then the sensation itself will dissolve in the spaciousness of awareness. So it may seem, and it's okay, what you are saying, it's correct that there is both the sensation and the spaciousness of awareness. But as you invite the spaciousness of awareness, as you invite yourself to noticing that, to noticing and inviting the sensation itself to expand and relax in the spaciousness of awareness, then the sensation will morph and you will actually no longer find it. And of course, I'm not talking about a toothache, I'm talking about bodily sensation that refer to me. There are many of them within the body. As you start to invite yourself to notice in your daily life the bodily sensations rather than the idea that something is about me, to notice it in the body, in your body. So the body is a truer instrument than the mind to locate the personal self. And you will find it in various positions that you have that have inhabited your body, have inhabited the body. And you can invite yourself to relax them and release them.
It's beautiful. I was doing it as I was listening to you, and yes, I can definitely sense this relaxation and spaciousness. Thank you.
Okay, Maria. Well, thank you all for this lovely gathering together. Very grateful.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay. Everybody.
Thank you.
George and
Thank you. It's so great to see everyone's little boxes of faces on the screen.
Yes, very cute.
Thank you.
Okay, lovely.